Hello, hello, hello. What is going on, Barb's babes? It is BarbMeetsWorld, and I am back again with our final, y'all. This is our final recap and review for The Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 8, Episode 21, child. This is the reunion, Part 3. Uncensored and extended, and you can see, my little addition. I had to do some tweaks, y'all. I had to do some tweaks to this thumbnail because, child, can we just talk about how much cast shakeups, updates, firings, and all that stuff has just been dropping from the sky since I woke up this morning? Like, goodness gracious. But we're going to get into all that at the end of this recap review. But I just had to point that out. Let me go on ahead, drop this down. Hi. Hello, how are you doing? Happy Monday. So we're here. We are here one final time to talk about what transpired on that third part last night. But before we get into all of that, you guys, please hit that thumbs up for me because it helps me in terms of the algorithm and helps me attract new viewers such as yourself. And if you are not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscription button as well for me, please and thank you. And once we conclude this video, why don't you go ahead and let me know your thoughts, opinions, critiques. I want to hear it all. I want to hear it all in the comments below. So please, let's keep the conversation down below going. And also shout out to the replay gang. Let me go on ahead and put my banner up here so you guys are aware of all of my socials. You see them scrolling down the bottom. Make sure you're following me on all those platforms because I do create different types of content on said platforms that are scrolling below. Much like our very own Dr. Wendy, I am also a multi-hyphenate. So if you love fashion and beauty content and all things of that sort, then go ahead and follow me on Instagram. I also have an additional secondary channel here on YouTube where I also showcase my fashion and beauty content as well. And TikTok is the same, actually. So make sure you're hitting me up on all of those platforms. Who we got in here? Hey, Miss Belle L. Thanks for joining us. Yes, they are dropping like flies. I was like, I ain't gonna lie though. And if you guys have been here for a while, y'all already know which one had me. Oh, thank you, Thank you, Jesus. Y'all already know which one I was just, oh, won't he do it? Yes, he will. I was super happy about. Actually, 2 updates I was actually happy about, but one I was happy to see go because y'all already know. But without further ado, let's go and get ahead into it. I might jump around a little bit, but just roll with me, y'all, as we bring it on home. So Gordon, the big bomb that he was about to drop last week and that we kept getting teased with, he unfortunately has been diagnosed with bipolar 1, and that is kind of the reason behind some of his manic behavior. Some people are not so convinced by it, and some people are thinking that he's just saying that as kind of like a scapegoat. Me being somebody that takes mental health and just health overall very serious, I know what it feels like personally to have my own health things. I've had people in my own personal life, I should say, look at my own health things in a way where they kind of downplayed them. So that's not something that I take lightly, and I would never want to do that to someone else. So I'm going to take it for what he is saying in this moment. If he says that that is what he has been diagnosed with, then that's how we're rolling over here. So it's pretty severe from what he explained. This is something that he's been dealing with for much of his life, even back as early as, him in his 20s. He can kind of think of different periods in his life where it's like, oh, that makes sense now, light bulb goes off. So gets pretty emotional. Mia also gets emotional. He says that he was actually diagnosed 2 years ago, and it doesn't really sound like he's on medication, which that's another one of those things that, I mean, I'm never going to force medication on anybody. Everybody has their own personal thoughts and opinions on whether or not they would like to take medication, or if they would like to go the natural route, or the therapy route, or whatever. So yeah, there's a lot that goes along with that. So it was, I just was like, wow, that's not exactly what I thought. I thought it had something to do with his health, not gonna lie. And I know that's something that I expressed in my previous videos, but I wasn't thinking that was what we were gonna hear. But nonetheless, he kind of opened up about that whole thing. So, she's forever going to be his caretaker as well. They are kind of, I guess, in a better space, so to speak. And as it pertains to the family and the lawsuit and all that, he says that they dropped their lawsuit and that he's on good terms with the family once again. Yes, yes, yes. Good for them. And he never lost his shares. He only lost the CEO position, if I'm not mistaken, and the pay that comes with that. So, but they're good now. I did think, though, if that was the case, though, then why did she lose her position then, if that was the case? But I digress on that. Moving on. Then we get into Aneka's package, which, y'all, we have not heard more than like 2 to 3 words from Aneka at this point. Not really sure why she's there. Not really understanding her purpose on the couch. I guess it's just because they needed somebody down on the end so it wouldn't be off balance. Maybe they just needed another placeholder there. That's kind of what I was thinking. I don't know. Y'all let me know. Hey, my boo Bonnie Scotch is in the building. How are you doing on this fine Monday? If y'all are not subscribed to my girl Bonnie Scotch's channel, then you guys should be. So go on over there and hit the subscribe button on my girl's channel, please. And thank you. Aneka is so useless. Yeah, and I'm assuming, based on, what we are hearing in the blogs, that maybe finally somebody has woken up over there and saw her for her worth on the platform, but I'm not going to hold my breath on that. So we shall see. I went into this final part on 1,000 thinking that it was going to just completely just piss me off even more. But honestly, I still wasn't entertained. However, being as though we're getting these updates that are kind of looking like, okay, maybe y'all did hear what we've been saying for seasons now. I'm trying to be optimistic. I really, really am. But nonetheless, I've already expressed to you guys that if this is how it's going to be going forward, we won't be talking about season 9 over here. And I still stand true to that. Unless I see some changes that work for me, then yeah, I can't do it. I'm sorry, y'all. Yeah, I knew what to expect, and I was kind of starting to see all the pieces have been kind of just filling in the blanks for me. So it really makes sense now, knowing what we know about Candiace now. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe that's why she was so emotional here, and maybe this, and maybe that. Maybe that's why she didn't give us that classic, good old verbally tear you down reads that she is so famous for, and all that extraness with the words and all that. Maybe that's why we didn't get all that. And I totally understand now, looking at it from the angle that I'm looking at it now. Why did you have to remind me of that? Okay. Yes. And as it pertains to Ashley, y'all, I'm glad that we were they at least held her a little bit accountable for the role that she played in the mess, because when you guys look at it, y'all, Ashley was responsible for two of the biggest like sour points in this season. The Osu, bringing that to light, and the fight. She brought that together, because if she never invited Diana, then that wouldn't have happened, in my opinion, in a lot of our opinions. So Ashley plays an integral part in the mess, and I'm just like over it. I really am. And Gizelle, I've been over Gizelle, y'all. Y'all already know. So Aneka's package, didn't really care about that too much. As far as her fertility journey, the IUI unfortunately didn't take, and she actually divulged this, I want to say a couple weeks ago or so on Instagram. So that wasn't surprising to me. They are now moving into IVF. I hope it works out for them. Like, I don't wish her any ill on her. If that's what she wants, then I hope that works out for them. But that's all I have for her. I don't care to see her back on this platform. If I ever revisit it again in the future, don't really care. But she was thankful that the other ladies were very supportive of her throughout this process, even namely Candiace. She was there with some support and some information, resources, things like that. So cool, whatever. Someone had asked Karen the difference between Potomac and North Potomac. Oh my God, that's just something, I guess. Those are those fun little shady moments that we appreciate. No, I mean, I really don't care. I've never been there. I don't plan on going there. So it is what it is. You live in North Potomac, you live in Central Potomac, you live, whatever. It really don't matter to me, but that is what I like to see. That's the fun, lighthearted shade that we like to see and stuff. So cool. I'm fine with that. Moving on. Unfortunately, this is when we get into how Aneka was brought into the show. And according to her, she had already been looked at to get on Married to Medicine, which honestly, looking at it, would have made so much more sense. And I feel like a lot of us wouldn't have so much disdain or so much we wouldn't be as over her as we are right now if she was on Married to Medicine. I feel like that was definitely more her speed. I mean, he's a doctor, right? So that would have made a lot more sense rather than coming on this show and carrying on like you did. But that is what it is, y'all. Moving on. I think production pulled Candiace to the side when Gizelle went and snitched like a white woman. You think so? I'm still giving my side eye to them. I am, them being production. Ashley face looked so crunchy and stupid in them because yeah. Mm-hmm. Her and Aneka, I'm not sure why they were there. I'm still not sure. And we're done with the reunion now, so I'm confused. Never go as hard as they should. Never. And I can I'm trying to think of like another person or another franchise that plays the same role as Ashley. I guess we would compare her to maybe like Sheree, I guess. But she is always being an agent of chaos in the bullshit. But for some odd reason, she don't ever get the smoke that she deserves, y'all. She really doesn't. And if y'all are if y'all can withstand going back in the previous seasons and rewatching them, y'all look for that. If you're ever going to go back and rewatch, like, look for exactly what I'm saying. You will find it in Ashley Darby, because she is always having her hand in somebody else's stuff or aligning things. And also when it is actually the time for said things to transpire and really kick off. This is the second time this season, I should say, was the second time that she was elsewhere when it all went down so conveniently. I'm not saying, I'm gonna just leave it at that. She's always MIA in those moments when it's all really breaking down. And that's just very coincidental. Yet she would rather say this is the second time that Candiace has been in a physical altercation. Well, this is the second time that you just so coincidentally enough weren't right there when stuff happened or whatever, even though you try to say you weren't, but you really were when we saw the clips on TMZ and all that. So again, there's something up with her, and I see her for who she is. Clearly, my good sis Bonnie sees her for who she is, and I'm gonna need y'all to see her for who she is, because she is also an evil villain on this show. Period. If it was Candiace doing what Ashley did, Andy would be listen. Exactly. Girl, it didn't take because you take a swig of champagne. But Miss Bubbles, I have bubbles when I wake up. I have bubbles with my vitamins. I have bubbles, but I have bubbles before I go into my fake meetings, because we really didn't see her doing no lawyering this season, if you ask me. But that's a different story for a different day. Yeah, she's Miss Bubbles Queen. So that's not really something that I would say goes hand in hand with trying to get pregnant, but that's just me. So Candiace appeared defeated and checked out during the reunion. This made me believe that they all got a firm talking to before the reunion. By they all, I mean Candiace and possibly Wendy. I feel like knowing what we know now, that she was with child at the time, I am looking at it totally different. Like, yes, I did feel like she felt like, okay, like there's just no winning. It's a lose-lose situation. I feel like she saw it for that. But I really do feel like she officially made that determination that, yeah, I'm with child now. This is not even a conducive environment to even be in right now, because your baby, you have to be good for your baby. You have to be healthy. You don't need to be extra stressed and all that. So yeah, I totally can understand why she was just completely over it by this point. Yeah, remember when Gizelle said in part 1 that someone was, yep, she sure did. And I thought I took that as that was like prior to the reunion. Like that was sometime in the past. That's how I took that. But when she said that was very telling. That was extremely telling. And we don't ever hear Candiace say, oh, well, someone said that they were supposed to have talked to her or anything like that. It was giving producer's puppet. I think she just has a degree, but I don't think there's a job on the other side of having got that degree. I really don't. I'm sorry. Ugh. And did not near one piece of lawyering, not at one point during the season. We're gonna have to do like a ranking of like the one season wonders or something. We gotta do something with that, because this was she might get the trophy for biggest L in terms of being a one season wonder, if you ask me, y'all. Moving on. So going back to how Nneka was brought on the show, she's saying that she was already being looked at for Married to Medicine, but then when she got, I guess, in town, it was Lebe, who is not a credible source, in my opinion, hasn't been since she's been mentioned, that she was the one that was like, yeah, hey, I know another Nigerian Igbo, a sister that you need to meet, or whatever, y'all need to meet. And that was kind of the connection with that. And Wendy's whole thing is that she was asked, like, hey, do you know Nneka? And according to her, she does not know Nneka, which completely makes sense to me. And even if they did meet 1 or 2 times or were in the general vicinity of one another, that still doesn't mean that you know somebody. That's not something I just take lightly these days, because there's knowing of somebody, there's knowing somebody, that's different than being friends with somebody, that's different than being associates with somebody. There's just so many different titles and all that can play a part in why Wendy said no. I don't know her. I don't think she was trying to be funny or trying to ice her out, as Aneka would say. I don't feel the same. I don't. I'm sorry. And it is very unfortunate that it all transpired the way it did with them, because I really think that could have been something great to see them actually be in a good space, being as though, yes, they are from the same cultural background, being as though they are two educated Black women on this platform, that they really could have just came together and made some great things, I feel like, happen. And it really could have been super entertaining, at least for me. But instead, I feel like Aneka came in on some bullshit. And because of that, I mean, she made her bed, so now she has to lie in it. It is what it is. I hope I wish her the best again in her fertility journey and whatever future endeavors she has going on. Shout outs to Jamie, that's me. Good luck. that's all I can really say to her. Y'all, I don't feel bad. She should have came in with some different energy. She brought nothing else other than smoke for Wendy. And she tried to defend herself by saying no, like she had met her, they were at a concert together or whatever, and then she gets like super like extra in the moment as well. And it's just like how she was at the pickleball game, where she just got super extra with Wendy, and that was not needed. That energy was just not needed, if you ask me. It sounds like she already had formed an opinion or formed a dislike for Wendy prior to coming on the show. That's what her energy reads as. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments. Maybe I'm alone on that one, but I don't feel like I am. I'm sorry. No, I took it as present because they were showing screenshots of Candiace tweeting about colorism when Gizelle was trying to blame her for the death threats. Yeah, okay. I would say I'm going to go back and look, but I'm not going to go back. I'm so done with the show right now. I just was more so in that moment when that was said. I was just like, wow, like y'all really will go through the greatest lengths possible to not have Gizelle take accountability or look bad. And I don't like that. I really don't. When she is the ringleader in a lot of what is going on and why the show is in the state that it's in. So I hope that they can sit with themselves and be super happy and super proud that the person that they were putting on such a pedestal has, like, I'm not going to say single-handedly, but has been a driving force in ruining this show and sinking and sabotaging this show. I hope they're happy with themselves, because that's what happened. LeBay does nothing but lie. And yeah, she's not a credible source, y'all. We didn't even when we did see her for a snippet, like, she didn't validate, she didn't clarify, she didn't further explain anything, at least not for me. We might as well have never even seen her on the show. She said like two things that didn't bring any pieces together for me. She doesn't know that lady, and that's okay. And Andy tried to clarify it by saying like, oh, well, on the production side, well, we kind of take that, when you say that you've met somebody before or something like that, we kind of take that as like, yeah, like, them and or whatever. And it's like, okay, well, that's all y'all then. You guys tried to fill in the blanks and tried to put more sauce on it than what she put it out there as, and that's a them problem. Then y'all took it that way. I never said all I said was I don't know her. I didn't say it with any malice. I didn't say it with any enthusiasm. I just said it plain as day, and y'all took that how you took it, and somehow it got back to her and how it did. And y'all, so another one, y'all created another issue that didn't need to be created, but Aneka also played her hand in it as well. Let me star this comment. She doesn't. That's the gag. Like, that's the actual gag. And you would think that by this point in the season, she would know that, and she would start to kind of see people for who they are and what role they play in the group. But she apparently didn't. And that cost her spot, allegedly. So then Andy, and I don't even really want to dive into this either due to the cultural sensitivity behind it, but they do speak a little bit about Osu, and well, they don't go into detail about it, because when Andy asked Wendy about it, she then turned to Ashley, which I'm like, I'm not mad at all. Put her on the spot. Please put her on the spot, because this wouldn't have came to light unless she opened her mouth. And the lack of words she had to say in this moment, and the lack of an explanation that she had in this moment, should tell y'all that this is why she had no reason to bring it up in the first place, because this is not, you don't even know what you're, excuse my language, y'all. You don't even know what you're fucking with, Ashley. You don't even know what you're fucking with, and you bringing stuff up, and you don't even know the weight of it. So I'm glad that Wendy turned to her and said, you speak on this, you brought it up. You say something. I would have did the same exact thing. So she gets a thumbs up for that. Ashley says she didn't bring it up to disparage Wendy. She just, brought it to her attention or whatever. And I was glad that Candiace said, like, well, why didn't you just bring it to Wendy from the get-go then? Like she just went about this all wrong and in the classic Ashley Darby way. So again, y'all, I need you guys to see old girl for who she is. Messy. Very messy. Aneka says none of them are even competent enough to speak on it appropriately, and she herself doesn't even feel comfortable speaking on it. So because of that, I hope this is the last time it's brought up. And Gizelle, she just so dense. Like, she just, is it like taboo? Like, she just so, and again, this is why a lot of people, on one hand, it's like, we can't see Gizelle as a first lady. But then again, if you've ever been, and this is no shade, y'all, if you have been around the church before, or certain types of individuals or first ladies or people in the church, then at the same time, it's like, no, I can kind of see why and how you are who you are, because she just lacks any knowledge about like anything or any just like emotional intelligence. Like, she just like, is it like taboo or something? Like, and that's why I think that's why Wendy in the first part was like, even as it goes back to like the colorism conversation, it's just like, y'all are not even, a lot of them up there just don't even have the range to talk about serious topics. And I say that to the Gizelles, the Robyns, the Mias, even Karen sometimes, damn sure Ashley, they don't have the bandwidth to talk about real shit a lot of times, and instead they add in all of these unnecessary comments or these just say random things that add no value to the conversation. So no, this is the wrong place, wrong time to talk about anything real, to be honest. So they shut that down, thankfully. And y'all saw in the preview, right? When Wendy, when she was speaking her language and all that, we didn't see that. Actually, she was saying something to Aneka. I don't know, obviously. I don't know, but she did say something to her in their language, and that was cut out. Even I watched it on the Bravo version, and then I also watched the Peacock version. Didn't get that at all. So yet again, why did that get cut out? We saw that on the preview, but I didn't see it air. I would have liked to know what was said in that exchange. It was probably something that made Wendy look good. So that's probably why they cut it out. But anyway, moving on. Ashley refuses to take accountability for what followed, though. Aneka claims she took accountability for what she said about Wendy's mother, but the Osu comments had nothing to do with her, which I'll let her get that off a bit. And instead, Wendy never confronted Ashley about that. And I think by this time, Wendy's really starting to see Ashley for who she is as well, thankfully. And then at this point, the husbands are dismissed, which I'm like, honestly, why were they even out there? Because they only said, like, Chris said some stuff. It was mainly just Gordon and Chris. Ray said like 4 words. I can't say shit, I don't think, except for we don't talk about that or whatever. And yeah, Eddie really didn't say much either, which is crazy because then after they leave, Andy directs his questions about Happy Eddie to Wendy. And I'm like, Eddie was just on the stage. You could have just asked Eddie when he was out here. Ashley really talked about Osu, which I loosely understand as being an outcast. Yeah, Ashley should have more compassion seeing as her own. Ooh, yeah. You would think that the things that Ashley has experienced in her own life would have made, you would think that she'd just have a different energy about her, but it's like, no, like, you're not gonna say like hard times make like hard people, or make you what make something out of you. Ashley's not that person, y'all. She's not. She just went the whole opposite direction. And we're going to get a little bit more into that later when they pay her package and we talk about that. Very much. Yes, Miss Belle L. She's a very, very dangerous person. And that's why whenever people say like, oh, well, she went to college too and all that or whatever, I'm like, y'all, not I wouldn't say that too loudly, because I know some people that have obtained degrees and they not working with too much up here. I'm gonna just say it like that. And Gizelle is a representation of that. Hey, cousin, y'all go subscribe to my cousin Ranting with Ricardo's channel. She did a very, very, very good review of this episode this morning, so y'all definitely go check it out. Gizzard went to college, and like, yes, this is the point I'm trying to make right now. Like, she probably again had people write her papers and just do her work for her, and she probably finessed her way through college based on her looks too. Sorry, I said it. Don't care. 100% don't care. Football head only cares about herself. She would throw Sheila. Yes, she would. And that's crazy because you would think that she'd at least see it from her mom, given the fact that her dad don't want nothing to do with her. But That's Ashley for you. Where we at now? So my girl, Kiana, she comes out looking cute as ever. And shout outs to her confessional outfit. She knew she was cute, so I'm here for it. And she talks about how her and Wendy met 5 years ago. She goes way back with Cal. He was kind of like a mentor to her in the industry. And she says that during filming, she named Candiace, Karen, Robyn, and Gizelle. She said that those are the ones that she got close with during the season, right? And she really was just here to have a good time. She really loves the girls. So that's cool. Wait, what? So, I was autocorrect. I'm like, why does it say Sharif? Like, no, it meant to say sharing. Like, come on now. But we get into the whole sharing of the rooms when they were on the trip and all of that. And y'all remember how Wendy was kind of, I guess, looked at as somebody that didn't want to share a room with her friend, or they were kind of, they being her and Candiace were kind of looked at as bad friends for not checking on Kiana and just all of that. So we get into all of that. And Wendy's whole thing was like, we didn't have to share rooms because we all had our rooms. And of course we hear these two hooligans over here talking about, oh, well, at that point in time, we didn't even know that we didn't have rooms. And at that point in time, we didn't even know that we all had our own rooms and and blah, blah, blah. Like, just always got something to say. Always got something to say. Hey, DeQuasia, how are you doing today? I'm glad you're here. But I'm just like, always got... Oh, I can't stand a person that always has something to say. I really can't, y'all. But again, they all had their own rooms, so nothing else really matters. And that's not me saying that Kay's feelings aren't valid or that she was in the wrong for feeling away. If she felt away, then she felt away. But that's between them two. And y'all two don't need to say anything. Y'all can just every single time. So, and I'm glad that Candiace called it out. I'm glad she said, like, no, y'all are just trying to make us look like we're bad friends, because that's exactly what she was doing. And we even said that. We clocked it when Gizelle went up to Kay and checked on her when she was sick. Y'all remember that? I saw it for what it was from the get-go. And we kind of got more information as to why we know for sure that Gizelle did it just to be spiteful, just to make them look like bad friends later on in this episode, y'all. Nothing. I don't like a person that you always have to wonder, like, she seems like the type of person, like, if she complimented my shoes, like, I will go change my shoes. Like, if Gizelle complimented my sweater, I will go change my sweater, because, like, I just don't, like, she just seems like, she's like Regina George, like, AF. Like, I wouldn't trust anything that she has to say. And a point that was made earlier in my cousin Rancho Ricardo's review, like, I wouldn't even trust her to pray over me as a first lady. Like, if I saw her, I would cross the street. Like, she just seems like she just reeks of bad energy. I'm really trying to think of like a redeeming. No, we only see anything even symbolic of redeeming qualities when she's with her girls. That's the only time we see her even be kind of digestible, or kind of like, oh, okay, maybe she does have a heart or something. And at the same time, to be so ugly and mean-spirited, it just, but you are also the most emotional person on this show. You try to hide it, but you're really the person that gets bent out of the shape the most. But just because you're not the crier of the group or whatever, you're looked at as somebody that doesn't have any emotions or whatever. I'm like, no, she has them. She definitely has them, and she be feeling them. She be over there boiling. Ugh. Yes. So you agree that you're really pretty. It's giving Regina George every day, every single day. But back to this little part. What else do I want to say about this scene? Then we kind of move back on over to Wendy, and we get into her package and everything. But before we get into that, Andy calls, trying to be funny, I guess. But he introduces her part by saying like, "Oh, like what new businesses are you going to be opening up next or whatever," or basically trying to like shade Wendy for always having a new business venture every season. And I'm just like, are y'all fucking stupid? Like, if I had this type of platform, I would be doing the same exact thing. You do know that doesn't mean that you don't know what you want to do because your hand is in several pots at the same time, right? Has anybody ever heard of a serial entrepreneur? I guess not. But like, that doesn't mean that you don't know what you're doing. And furthermore, if we're really going to sit here and talk about people that hop around and get into businesses that are really just completely off brand for them, can we talk about Gizelle for 1 minute? Every hue. Can we talk about Robyn with the damn hats, and Gizelle now with this workout line, because her and Ashley are just gym bunnies. Gizelle doesn't give me gym bunny. I'm not saying that she is like super out of shape or anything like that, but she don't give me that. Like, when I think of, she doesn't give me Kenya Moore. She doesn't give me Sheree. Like, she doesn't give me like, she doesn't even give me, what was Drew's fit stuff that she was doing. Like, she's kind of a poser. So why are we looking at Wendy like, oh, she always want to start things, and now she got a talk show, and what about the candles, and what about this, and what about that? Like, she's just all over the place. What is your point with that? She really does. And when I'm over there, I'm like, I need to go there. I definitely need to go there because, honey, beautiful. She has no redeeming qualities when it comes to the girls because she treats them differently. She cares. Is that what okay. I was like, okay, is that what it is? Or I'm like, is it because like the twins, like they're, two peas in a pod or whatever, they're twins or whatever, they're already a package deal, right? Like, maybe like, because Grace is the single child over here, like maybe it's like she'd be over here with Grace and then the twins, and that's kind of how they do that, That's what I assumed, but or like different personalities or whatever. But right now, again, I ain't got no interest in sticking around watching it, but it would be interesting to see in the future, like, how it is now in their household now that Grace is out at college. Like, I wonder what it is now. Like, are they going to be in the confessionals with her, or like what? Curious about that. Multiple streams of income keep us going in the capitalistic society. And the state, like, do we need to talk about the state of the economy right now? Like, are you serious? Like, that's what you're supposed to do when you have a platform like this. Try different things. If you have multiple interests, there's nothing wrong with going and getting into said different interests. Again, maybe that's just the entrepreneur in me. I don't know, but that's perfectly normal, in my opinion. I just took that as like, maybe they couldn't miss anything. I see what you're putting down. I'm here. Trust me, I'm here with you. I just, for those twins' sake, I hope that's not the case, because your daddy's a hoe, and your mom cares about this daughter more than y'all. Like, at least they got each other, child. But going back to Wendy's show, she's been doing really good. We know the pilot went way over budget. She booked Latavia, which was cool. And again, we talked about Happy Eddie, the weed business and all of that. And that's been booming. That's going real good. When Eddie goes to these pop-ups, he be coming back with all the tree, I guess, apparently. So good for them. I'm not even gonna say that. I'm not even gonna say. Not even gonna say that because I don't want it to come out the wrong way. But I'm glad that their business is doing good, and I'm glad that she is not letting people to the left and right of her make her feel badly about seeking and starting up different streams of income. Like I don't feel like that's a bad thing whatsoever. And I don't think that she was ever being secretive about being Catholic either. Just because she didn't lead with that doesn't mean that she wasn't proud of that, or that it was just something that was hidden about her. So whoever asked that question, maybe you just weren't paying attention. But Wendy says she's been Catholic her whole life. Don't really know what else to say about that. Then we get into she's going to actually be stepping back from teaching because she wants to have more time with her kids. She's missed pivotal moments in her kids' lives, and she just doesn't want to do that anymore. And I definitely respect her for that. And that's probably another reason why she decided to get into the talk show, because that's something she can completely do at her own pace, according to her own schedule and all that. She could batch shoot one day and not have to do do episodes and have enough content for months and months and months if she really wanted to, and then still be able to be there day in and day out with her kids and all their activities and sports and stuff like that, and dance classes, whatever. It makes sense. Dr. Wendy, keep doing what you're doing, period. And unfortunately, if you guys, I wanted to make another separate video about that, but if you hadn't heard that her home was burglarized last week, I want to say, that did happen. So I definitely send out my prayers and stuff for that, because honey, like, coming home after a vacation to that, like, that's gonna make you obviously want to get up and move, probably. Don't wish that on anyone. So I definitely feel for her during this time. But going back to some of the comments she made earlier this season about Mia being slow and calling Aneka a crackhead, which she does apologize in this moment for calling her a crackhead, because it was basically like, well, you were like poking at me about my mom, so there. That's why I said what I said. That's kind of what I took from it. And I mean, you know, I don't really care either. You talk about Aneka, you can call her, and I don't really care. Sorry. And then in regards to her comments about Mia calling her slow or calling her a pathological, actually, I'm not even going to talk about that part yet, but calling her slow. I do think that words mean things, and you should be mindful of the words that you use. But at the same time, I can also understand maybe she should have used a different word, but I get the point she was getting at nonetheless, because it's like, you said Charlotte and Potomac or whatever are on opposite coasts. And last time I checked, according to the map that I have, they're not on opposite coasts. So that did, you had should she have said a blonde moment or something? Like, all synonyms for, yeah. So doesn't really change how we look at you, Mia. Sorry. And it doesn't really change also that you want to call her out for calling you a pathological liar, but bro, like, you be lying though. Mia be lying. You came on the show lying. Like, is it really a negative comment if it's true? It's a fact then, right? I'm just saying. She has them. I can see that though. I could totally see like them up there, and then all right, y'all get, yeah, y'all go to economy. I could see that. It's not funny, but it is funny, but it's not funny. I could totally see that. She seems like the type of person. I blame Aneka's bots for her housemate. I do too, because they divulged, they put her address out there, and it's just like, if that was the case, then it's just very, very coincidental timing that that happened right after her address was leaked. Again, and this is not to throw jabs at Dr. Wendy, but I'm not going to ignore the fact that she does post a lot in real time, and that's a big no-no, even for somebody who, like myself. Like I don't post in real time, even being little old me, because you just never know who could be watching, who could be preying on you. Do they have a security system? I mean, I don't know if, because I'm kind of I'm like, wonder what their security system is like. I'm assuming they have one, because I'm not gonna speak too much from a personal standpoint on how I know about security systems and how that works and all that and whatnot. But I would have one that would alert me pretty swiftly, so that they couldn't have got off with so many items. But again, we don't know all the details, and that's not even our place to know the details. So I'm just glad that they're safe ultimately. No one wants to hear it, of course, in moments like this. You never want to hear it when it's your belongings being taken, of course, but they are items that can be replaced at a hefty price, but they can be replaced. So I'm glad that they're safe, though. Yeah, that would have been better, something along those lines, because then there would be no reason for people that look for every reason to tear y'all down and call you out. There would have been no reason for Mia to have brought that up in this moment, because then she would have just been unintelligent, period. You said some see, I shouldn't even say that. You said something stupid, and that's just how you made yourself look in that moment. Thank God Wendy and him was out of town, because then people was treating it was, yes, exactly. So who knows what would have happened if they were in the home, because some people are bold. Some people are bold enough to, target you when you're in the home still. So glad that they're safe. And honestly, I that's so annoying, but I could understand probably moving after that. I really can. But that's really it. Mia be lying and Candiace be crying. Not gonna lie, that did make me laugh. But moving right along. Then we get into Ashley's package. I feel how I feel about that. She has a friend, don't really care about that, and he doesn't want to get married, and he has no kids. So she, being somebody that really wants to get married and is going to get married because she has, her codependency issues, she just thinks that this is just going to be just friends. So whatever. And in regard to the whole them not really getting divorced speculation, she didn't really make sense. She really didn't clarify anything for me, honestly. But she kind of explains that they go through cycles. So like when they were filming, they were in a really toxic place. Then after filming, they were in a really good place. And then now they're not a good place once again. So that kind of dictates how she's been moving and the speed at which she's been moving to get this divorce finalized. And whatever has happened recently has gave her the big enough confidence boost to allow her to have allowed her to file a complaint, I believe, to kind of get the ball rolling on the divorce. She feels more equipped, I guess, now, for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe she got a big brand deal or something. Maybe because the TikTok partnership has been paying her really well. I don't really know. But that's kind of what's going on with her and that man that she's married to. She thinks that he's also dating because he took a trip on Valentine's Day. We don't need to know that. I don't really care. But it was really when she started to explain how their relationship progressed and everything, and how she had all these hopes and dreams of being a did she say a news broadcaster or something? I don't remember, child. Earlier in her life, she was working when they met, and it was him that was like, hey, like, I want to travel a lot, and you're working a lot, you can't really just be up and traveling so much with a job. So she quit her job. They started jet setting all over the globe, and she got dependent on him. I feel like that sounds good and all, and that sounds like that sounds nice and sweet, but another half of me says that you're full of shit, and this is always what you wanted things to be from the get-go. You never really know with Ashley. She's just like Mia. You just never really know when she's telling the truth or not about it. And I'm like, even if it did happen the way you're expressing, that's still like, that's still a no-no. And I'm not really understanding. And this is coming from somebody who, I'm fully married woman. I never condone being 100% dependent on anybody. I don't care if you've been married 85 million years. I don't believe in being 100% dependent on another person. And I'll say that to her or him or whatever in this situation. It goes both the same way. Neither of y'all should be dependent completely on the other person, because you just never know. And not always even being like meaning it in a bad way. Something could happen where the one person gets hurt on the job, and then they're completely out of an income, and it's just like, oh, well, I have no skills, I have no work history, I have no this, I have no that. Like, you never know. Or unfortunately, even worse, they get hurt, and unfortunately they are no longer amongst the living. Then what are you going to do? Like, yeah, you might have insurance money, but that's going to deplete at some point. So I don't know. Ashley's just really like sorry to me. We're not really here, me and Ashley. I'm sorry. And at the same time, though, although me and Ashley are not here, again, Robyn, if she was on the stage with me, if I was any of these ladies and she was on the stage with me, no matter who is talking, Ashley would never, and I repeat, she would never, or Robyn, I should say, I repeat, would never be able to ask me anything, say anything, because in this moment is Robyn, as always, that needs more clarification or needs to ask extra questions or whatever about stuff. And I'm just like, girl, like, you're not allowed to ask me anything. Like, asking what's the holdup with the divorce or whatever. I would have been like, well, why did you remarry Juan when he proves every 5 minutes that he doesn't really like you? She would never be able to ask me anything. Like, period. Moving on. GNA, who cares about that? But I guess it's doing well. They have confidence in it and all that. Is there? Let me look real quick. Do they have stuff on the website yet? Probably not. Nope. Nope. Still the same six things. Tisk, tisk, tisk. But then you want to ask Wendy why she's always starting a new business, but they started a business and we haven't seen anything from said business yet. I really can't make these things up, y'all. But at this point, we get back into Kay, and unfortunately, we got to talk about the whole fight and everything. And Andy asks her what all happened. She explains everything from, you know, her perspective, which is the real perspective. If you ask me, if you saw that video, she explains all of that. And she's like, you know, Deborah, she came in with the smoke, clearly. And it was Wendy that was originally the one trying to de-escalate the situation. I was trying to de-escalate things, and before you know it, I got cut up in the face with a glass. So that's where everything started. And it's Andy with these little stupid ass extra questions. Like you're sitting here asking, like, oh well, what did he ask? Where is it? In the scene, you can be seen throwing punches after Deborah throws the drink on you. What was going on at that moment? Motherfucker, she was fucking beating her the fuck up then because she just came at her. Like, she assaulted her, so I was defending myself. Like, what do you mean? Asking extra questions. I get it's a reunion. I get, obviously, we were there to ask questions. But at that point, if you watch that video, you know exactly what she was doing in that moment. She was defending herself because Deborah threw it. Like, why do we need to get a play-by-play breakdown of, okay, so why did you throw that punch then? Okay, so why did you hit her with that right hook then? So what? She came with all the smoke. I had to handle the situation because I felt threatened, period. And that is the same thing I would have said when he then addressed Candiace and was like, oh, well, what were you going to do with the bottle or whatever? I was going to fucking defend myself because none of you other bitches were. I don't know why we need to ask the extra questions. I don't know why we need to, like, break down the obvious. I hate breaking down and asking extra questions about the obvious. It's okay, sis. It's okay. We're still here. I appreciate you being here. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And Mia also pissed me off in this moment. But she did speak up and say that Deborah also came up to her with some smoke. And she was like, oh, so I'm a 4, Mia. I'm a 4. And that's going back to something that Mia said last season, I believe, about the way that Deborah looks. She called her like a 4, 4.5, or whatever. Like, she's cute, but she's not cute. Like, this whole confessional. And I guess Deborah felt a way about that. So again, another example of Deborah came in ready to pick fights and stir up mess. Because why would you think this is the time or place to air out any type of grievances? I don't care if you don't know when the next time you're going to see these ladies or whatever. You should have been like, Ashley, can you set up a luncheon with us so I can ask them or whatever, privately off camera or something? That's what you really would have done if you're somebody that isn't trying to stir up mess and stuff. But no, you came in there with your Vaseline, your hair up, and your black Air Forces ready to throw down. And that's exactly what you did. So I'm not buying any other additional input about the situation. We saw that clip. We saw how it all went down. We heard Ashley say, are the cameras off? And that's just what it was. It was all on Ashley and her friend. And Mia, oh my God, actually, in this moment, y'all, Mia just proves again why Wendy called her a pathological liar. Because instead of telling the truth and saying, yeah, I called you a 4, because that's what I would have said. I'm gonna stand in my shit every single time. I don't care who it is. Like, yeah, I said it was, then whatever comes of that, comes of that. If you want to fight me after that, like, we could fight. Like, I don't know what else would need to be said at that point. Like, yeah, I said it. Now what? Now what? So you want to say that, you want to instead of admitting to saying, yeah, I said that, you instead say, oh no, boo, you a black queen. It ain't even like that. And y'all, I am 100% aware that in life, as you mature, you come to the point where you're like, hey, I need to choose my battles wisely. I'm usually the first person saying that. But in this instance, I'm not going to have a bitch come up to me trying to check me on something, and I'm just going to just shrivel down and be like, oh no, I didn't say that. I called you beautiful and this and that. No, I'm going to say, if I have the kahunas to say in a confessional one thing, I'm going to then come out on stage or come out on wherever when I am confronted about saying whatever I said in said confessional by the person. I'm going to say, yeah, I said this. Then I really don't understand why Mia was saying that. Like, I get choosing your battles wisely, but you're promoting being a pathological liar or a liar in general. You're promoting lying, Mia. Weird. And that's what I mean. They can't talk about nothing for real because somebody always has to jump in and say something that is just irrelevant AF. No, she shouldn't have said anything other than what she said. Candiace said exactly what she said, and I don't think she said anything that had anything to do with anything, because Deborah came in there with the energy, and Candiace even said in this scene, if I would have said this, or if I wouldn't have said, like, if I would have said whatever, it was going to happen regardless. Like, it was going to go down the same way regardless, because that's what she was on from the door. And then Candiace, she explains how everything went down as well, which made sense to me. So then Andy, this is, if y'all saw the sneak peek last week, this is when that whole thing pops up where we have Andy asking Gizelle what she thought of everything when she saw it or whatever, after she saw the footage, like what did she make of it? And she goes on to part her lips to say, she pretty much blames everybody. She's like, I think everyone's responsible for it. Deborah, Candiace, Wendy, Kay. And of course, Wendy's immediately like how I get in, like, huh? What did Wendy do specifically? And because Gizelle has zero respect and zero anything for anybody else, she doesn't even take Wendy's name out of it, because Wendy had nothing to do with it in the first place. She doesn't even take freaking her Wendy's name out of it until Mia, because I saw her eyes. She was looking at Mia and she was like, she wasn't right there. Oh, okay. All right. I take Wendy's name out of it. Just carelessly. You know how the same exact way, y'all, she spoke on Chris and everything. She has no concern, she just no consideration for anybody else, and the ways that she talks on other people. She does not care, because what did Wendy have to, she had nothing to do with it. You're just throwing people under the bus just to throw them under the bus at this point without it even making sense. That was a prime example of that. But I bet you my last dollar that there's still people in the comments. I ain't been in nobody's, I knew it was going to be some bullshit today, so I haven't even checked no comments of anything, because I know there's still people in those comments that are going to defend Gizelle time and time again. And I can't get with it. I can't. This is 100% proof right here, y'all. She will just say something just to say it, just to make somebody else look bad because she doesn't like them. Just like last season or whatever, when Wendy got the drink tossed on her and was hit with a purse by Mia, and instead of Gizelle saying like that was wrong straight up, regardless of who it was, regardless of who the victim was, it was wrong. Instead of her saying that, she said she didn't care because she don't like her. And this was another moment of that, where because she don't like them, she put the blame on them. And at this point, Candiace is well aware, like, no, it's always Candiace's fault. It's always my fault. I'm the problem all the time. Like, oh, I would be so done at that point. Oh, I would be so done. And that's why Candiace is like, and she looks over to production and she's like, and y'all want me to be friends with this? Like, I'm supposed to make up with this. You're kidding me, right? I completely understood in that moment. And in that moment, I'm like, I'm so glad she's moving on from this. And knowing what we know as of this morning, I am even more glad that she has stepped away from this platform, because y'all are gaslighting us as viewers, and enough is enough. Like, no. Wendy spent the entire season trying to figure out how yes, every time. There's something I did wrong. Oh, because I can't even exist because you will find something wrong every single time. That is so, you know how tiring that would be? I would be so tired. Neckbone is watching my videos because where did she was asked to be on Married to Mexico? Yeah, we've never heard that from her. And as my cousin said, like, that was something that was mentioned in one of her own personal YouTube videos. So again, y'all, if y'all don't think that they be watching us, they do. They be in the bushes. Hey, if you're watching right now, they be watching. And again, I feel like if she had gone over there, it would have went a lot better. Instead of having Phaedra added this season, they could have had Aneka, and we wouldn't even be having any of these conversations right now, probably. Well, not any of them, but we wouldn't be having a part of this conversation right now, I should say. Yes, and give my cousin her credit, bitch. Let me stop, because I'm acting like this because, like, I just don't care anymore, obviously, and I just want to be done. What else happened in this moment? Y'all want me to be friends with this? How did I get into it? Karen, what the were you doing by asking that question? Well, it doesn't matter when Candiace called her vermin or vomit or whatever you want to say, violence. Like, it doesn't matter what V word she called her. That again happened. We're starting. Here we go. Ooh, do I say this like I'm pretty sure I say this every video. We again are starting in the middle when we should be starting at the beginning. Every single time we start right smack dab in the middle. Because Karen, it does not matter whether she said that here, there, or anywhere. Deborah already came up in her face popping shit. And at that point, Candiace said, hey, yo, can someone come handle this vermin, whatever she wanted to call it? Don't matter. It doesn't matter. They focus so much on Candiace and Wendy. Why weren't? Yeah, and honestly, I'm kicking myself a little bit with this right now, because after the finale, I was able to be blinded by Mia and Gordon so much so that I'm like, oh my God, I understand why Mia has the first chair. Oh my gosh, Mia should definitely have the first chair. And, you know, the Grand Dame's the Grand Dame. So whatever, she can sit there. I don't care, whatever. But the way that this all happened, damn sure Candiace should have been in the first chair. And yeah, Wendy could have too, because honestly, I would have understood if, first of all, it should have been everybody cleared from the stage. If we want to be real, for real, it should have been like Aneka and Wendy maybe for their part, and it should have been Candiace and Gizelle for another part. Like they should have just broke them all up, because going back to what I said before, everybody's always adding in their little 2 cents about stuff, and it adds absolutely no value to the conversations in the moment. It literally helps none. No help. There's no help. And I'm kicking myself because seeing how everything unfolded, if people are still in those comments talking about, this person is, such an integral part of the show, and this person deserves a no. The attention was on Candiace and Wendy the entire time. It's giving obsessed. And I don't understand. That's weird to me. Karen on my list to stay on that muff fence and don't come off it. Yeah, which pisses me off because y'all, if there was a favorite for me to have, it was, always going to be Karen. And she pissed me off in this moment yet again because it's just like, well, that doesn't matter. That is an irrelevant question. Deborah and Mia even further solidified the fact that Deborah came in there on some bullshit from the door. But instead, somehow, and not even just Deborah, and at this point, I'm really over here pissed off because I'm like, is nobody, Gizelle can be mad at everybody else, but she has absolutely she don't feel no type of way towards Ashley at all. Ashley should have been the first name she said, because I'd be like, bitch, you knew how your friend felt about her and you trusted that she was going to come in here and play nice. Well, I've never seen Daniela be violent to anybody before. Next. Boo. I've never seen Daniela be violent before, so I was just, I thought she said that she wanted to clear the air and and Karen was like, that was not clear the air energy, boo. It wasn't. So anyway, Karen, yeah, I'm really disappointed. And also, although I don't see it for the show right now, I'm wondering if Karen is going to, instead of leaning into her situation, her DUI and all that, I wonder if she's going to then, instead of doing that, kind of allow everything that's going on with other people and all this. I wonder if she's going to allow that to kind of be the focus and kind of just hide herself behind all of that. I hope not, for her own sake, because she really needs to lean into all that. I still stand behind that. But I don't know. She has moments like this where I'm just like, they do. And they do. They do. She glad this show has ended. Yeah. I feel the same way. Adama. I do. And Robyn, while this is all happening, I'm looking over. She's like smirking like a Cheshire cat. Like, ill. Complete ill. Do you really think you would have swung it at her? What? Why does that matter? It doesn't matter. And again, you're wanting to break down all of get a play-by-play of this altercation. And if anybody knows anything about being in a fight, like, yeah, if somebody jumps bad with you, you're going to defend yourself by any means necessary. And Candiace is going on to try to defend herself and try to say, where she was coming from in that moment. And then we have everybody else trying to tell her that, oh, well, your words got you, into it and stuff. And we got Ashley over here talking about her words instigated stuff and made it explode. And this is, again, after we already know, and we've already heard from two plus people at this point, that Deborah came in there ready for war. But we're still going to blame it on Candiace's words that came after she approached her. That doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. Like, So, and there's several people that I could hear saying that Candiace played a part and stuff. And although Ashley's saying, oh no, I'm not blaming Candiace for it or whatever. It's just like, yeah, you're not flat out blaming her, but all y'all keep doing is saying like, yeah, I'm not blaming her, but your words, like there should be no but, there should be no however, there should be no any other thing after that other than it happened because Deborah wanted it to happen since she hit the door. Doesn't matter what Candiace would have said or didn't say or anything. She wanted to get it started regardless. There's not really much more I can say. And I felt like at this point, Candiace felt it too. So then before Kiana goes, she, speaks a little bit more, and she ends her cameo by thanking Karen for riding with her in the ambulance and everything, and because she felt really alone in that moment, and the only other person that would have filled that role is her mother, but her mother wasn't there, of course. So Karen took that place or whatever. And it's like moments like that are the reason why Karen doesn't ever completely cross over into no man's land with the others, because it's like she does show redeeming qualities in certain moments and stuff like that. But then the North always remembers when she says bullshit like this. And yes, Karen has said more harmful things for minor offenses. Yes. Karen has played her part in things in the past, but again, in this moment, she is able to be overlooked because, like, right now, Kay is offering up so much thanks to her for being there for her in that moment, which was obviously, a nice gesture and all that. And Karen says she did it because that's something she would have wanted someone to do for her own child. So, okay, cool, great, whatever. And in I don't know if this was on the Bravo version, but I do remember in the Peacock version, Kay, she goes around to kind of thank the ladies and say that, again, she was there to have a good time. And again, she thanks on everybody for checking on her after that. But she did make it a point to mention that Gizelle did not check on her after it. And yes, if y'all watch the episodes, you know that this was the time that Gizelle's father was going to have brain surgery and everything. And that's why Gizelle wasn't present at the after party and all that. So Gizelle, again, tries to attribute her not reaching out to her in that moment to her being there for her father, and that just was the furthest thing from her mind. And it's like, although I understand that, again, it's another one of those coincidental things where it's just like, interesting, because she went out of her way to check on you when we were on vacation, and then in this moment, when you literally have your forehead busted open at her event, actually, she doesn't check on you. Interesting. Very, very interesting, right? Y'all know what I'm getting at when I say that. Hey, Kimmy, how are you doing today? So funny that Deborah was mic'd up. That Deborah was mic'd up. Yeah, they all still had their mics on. It was just the cameras were down. And that's why we heard Ashley say, like, oh, yeah, the camera's down. And why we heard the stop. And which is why I feel as though, looking back on it again, I feel like Ashley knew something was going to go down. Maybe she didn't know to the extent of which it would go down, but she knew something was going to go down. And I feel like that was written all over her face after it all broke out and stuff. And she was like walking out with Deborah and apologizing and stuff like that. Ashley knew what was up. So did anyone mention the hair grabbing member of the... Who is that? Old girl in the yellow? Who is that? Because she's another one. She's another one that would be on my shit list if I was them. Because the way that she grabbed a chunk of her hair and pulled her down like that, yeah, I would be feeling alone too. I would probably start swinging on everybody too, because it looked very set-up-y. And I feel like Kiarna definitely sees Ashley for who she is, and that was represented in this moment also when she says, you know, yeah, Ashley, she's like the what did she say? The queen of aftermath apologies. We could see that she don't really care too much. I feel like, I'm not trying to speak for her, but I would assume based on her response right here that she doesn't care too much for Ashley, and I wouldn't either, because you don't own your mess, obviously. You play a part in mess, and then you go MIA when mess is happening, and you try to act like you don't know what's going down. And those type of people cannot be trusted at all. She's not proactive in general about not causing mess. I really loved how she put it. She knows how to be to keep it cute, but also get her point across. And I really love that about her. So again, and I also loved in the Peacock version where Candiace and Wendy were like, oh, were you surprised that she didn't reach out to you after that? Strategic. We told you. I love how they said that basically in unison, because unfortunately, I feel like Kiarna was a little blinded by that seemingly kind gesture that Gizelle did when they were on the trip. I never put too much stock into that, because Giselle's just not, she's not a genuine person, y'all. She's not. Like, there's always an ulterior motive, I feel like, to everything. And unfortunately, I think Kay, she got her hopes up a little bit, and unfortunately, and it's all good. Like, I'm not judging her at all, because I can understand you think somebody's being nice and stuff, because who goes out of their way to play these mean girl, childish ass games that Gizelle plays? Only her. Who hates on somebody to the degrees that she hates on, you know, Candiace and Wendy? Gizelle. So I can understand why Kay probably didn't think that it was like how it was. But anyway, we end with Andy asking if anybody wanted to like step up and apologize and all that. And of course, not everything is pretty much where it is with everybody, between Robyn and Candiace, between Aneka and Wendy, between Gizelle and Candiace. It is what it is. And did you guys catch when Gizelle was like, oh, I can't wait for this to air in the tweets? And I was just like, ooh, can you really? Because this probably didn't go over 100% how you thought it would go over. I wasn't able to live tweet as much as I wanted to last night, but I know a lot of people, and from the couple tweets I did see, a lot of us had smoke with Gizelle for real. So I'm like, it's probably didn't go over how you thought it would. Crazy. I bet she was sitting there boiling as she does, but they eat some pie or whatever, because y'all know those analogies Karen was doing all season about the pie. They eat pie, and that's just what it is, and I don't really care. Yes, she does every single time, and it's because she is shielded by production. That's how I feel. So right now, y'all, we're going to quickly get into all the like updates and different stuff that we got into that we saw, I should say, this morning, starting with something that really warmed my heart, y'all, when I saw. And again, I don't ever wish unemployment on anybody, especially in this economy. Lord knows I don't. But unfortunately, she had numerous chances to get it right and come correct, and she didn't. So it is what it is. I don't really care. Let's get into Robyn Dixon confirmed she won't be returning to the Real Housewives of Potomac for season 9. I was fired. So I'll just go ahead and share. I think it has the audio. Does it have the audio? Oh, no, it doesn't. Oh, crap. Okay, I'll have to find that in just a second, y'all. But I'll read the caption for now. Neighbors get into this. Seems like the Real Housewives of Potomac producers heard y'all complaints, child. A few weeks ago, it was reported that Robyn Dixon was allegedly given the boot for the upcoming season of the show. And now Robyn herself is confirming the news on the latest episode of Reasonably Shady. Robyn broke the news to her fans that she wasn't invited back to the show after 8 seasons. Yes, I will not be returning for season 9. I will not be returning for season 9 of The Real Housewives of Potomac. Dixon 45 said, "It's reality. The network did not invite me back. I was fired for lack of better words. I will not sugarcoat the situation. They need to proofread and say, ooh, I am walking away and this is a break or anything like this. This is a network decision." So how do we feel about that? Yeah, I mean, y'all can guess how I feel about that. Damn, everybody in that motherfucker is unemployed now. I guess her and Juan will be filling out applications side by side then with their morning coffee. It is what it is, y'all. On a serious note, it is what it is, because she had a couple seasons now, and especially this last one, I feel like she had to get her stuff right, and she refused to do stuff. I feel like at one point she was actually trolling us as viewers and, you know, talking about she don't care and all that. So cool, you don't care. They made the best decision possible and let you know that they don't really care about keeping you employed. You bring nothing. You talk about you don't care. You talk about, you know, this, that, and the other thing. Like it is. This has been a long time coming, and I'm 100% okay with it. That might sound bad, but she should have brought it better. There's no way else to say it. She should have brought it better. And I a couple of weeks ago, or when it first broke, I was like, oh my gosh, yes. But then it wasn't confirmed. So I didn't hold my breath too much. But I was happy to hear it. I can't lie. She brings nothing. She really doesn't. Y'all, somebody check on Christina Applegate, because I'm sure she is just so upset. This was her favorite housewife, so she's probably so upset. It is what it is. Whatever. I was looking for the audio real quick, but I can't seem to pull it up where I had it this morning. I thought I can't find it, but anyway, yeah. So no more, good riddance. It is what it is. And I do remember in the recording her expressing, like, you know, how, you know, sad that although they still have Reasonably Shady, that she won't be on the platform with Gizelle anymore. So I feel like that means that Gizelle is going to be back definitely next season then. Otherwise, just the way that they were speaking and stuff. So I feel like that means that Gizelle definitely is, which I'm not surprised about, honestly, although I feel like it should have been. It'll be interesting seeing Gizelle without Robyn doing, you know, her bulldog work and stuff. But it also would have been interesting to see it reversed where Robyn had left and Gizelle, or not Rob, yeah, Robyn had stayed and Gizelle had left. That would have been interesting too, but I didn't hold my breath on that. I knew if there was one of them that was going to leave, it would be, of course, Robyn. I don't want to say less valuable because they both bring the same amount, honestly, in my opinion, just in different ways. But the number one ringleader, I knew that they weren't probably going to get rid of her. So we have that, and also it is, let me switch my banner real quick because this one hasn't been officially confirmed. But as you see, it says Jasmine Brand exclusive, Real Housewives of Potomac allegedly firing newbie Aneka. I can't pronounce her last name, so whatever. The Jasmine Brand exclusively reports that Aneka has allegedly been fired from Real Housewives of Potomac after her first season. She is now allegedly the third person from season 8 who will not be returning for season 9. On Monday, April 15th, Robyn Dixon announced on her Reasonably Shady podcast that she was also fired from the hit Bravo series. She said, "Yes, I will not be returning for season 9 of The Real Housewives of Potomac. It's reality. The network did not invite me back. I was fired for lack of better words. I will not." Oh, we already read all that. I don't know why they put that in there, but whatever. Yeah, so pretty much it's just being alleged that Aneka is not coming back either. And this was also something I was not surprised about because y'all, she said about 6 words on the damn reunion, on all, that's collectively, all 3 parts. It is what it is. She should have came in with a different energy. She should have came in at a different angle, and she didn't. So she didn't make a big enough splash regardless. She better hope that Married to Medicine spins the block on her. Maybe she can move back to LA and they can reboot the Married to Medicine LA. I don't know. It don't really matter to me. I don't care. But not surprised by this. I knew that if then we were comparing her and Wendy, that it would probably be her to go, most definitely. And at this point, be based on the whole colorism issue and accusations and stuff like that, it would not be in the network's best interest then to let Wendy go as well. So Candiace, Wendy. So then now we have potentially, where is it at? Right now, it's looking like we're working with Mia, Wendy, that lady next to Wendy, in between her and Candiace. Candiace is transitioned on into bigger and better things with her life. Karen and Ashley. And a lot of people were speculating that Ashley wouldn't be coming back next season as well, but we haven't heard yay or nay on that. So again, this is what we're working with kind of right now. I would venture to say that actually, oh, sorry. I forgot this was up here, y'all. Hold on. Actually, oh no, we're good. I would venture to say that Mia will be back next season, but again, the jury's still out, so I'm sure there'll be more updates to come. And last but not least, certainly not least, y'all, we also got wind of this today.
You always tell me how great I am with words. Surprisingly, though, when the time came, the perfect words just didn't exist. I am so ready to laugh with you for the rest of our breaths. You always tell me how great I am with words. Surprisingly, though, when the time came.
Okay, so y'all saw that. That was cute. That was different. I like that announcement. That was super cute. Oh, actually, I didn't even read the caption. Crap. Yes, that is Candiace's big news, and I am really happy for her. I was like, I mean, could she be pregnant? Like, I mean, I feel like she's gonna cry regardless, but I feel like that may have played a part as to why like she was a little bit even more emotional than normal and everything. And there's just been kind of little chatter here and there for the last couple of weeks about her possibly being pregnant and everything. So I'm really happy for her. And if Bravo knew anything that was good for them, they would then reach out and maybe try to get her on her own spinoff special, because Lord knows we haven't got any good spinoffs from this franchise for real. So that would be nice to see. I'm eager to see from the outside looking in as much as we can see her step into motherhood and everything. But they really fumbled things with this one. They really did, because this could have been something really good for the show. But going back to what we talked about before, it's not a good environment to, want to bring a child in. That sounds like just no. Going back and forth over stupid stuff, being accused of stupid stuff, having your husband be lied on and stuff. Like, no one wants to deal with that, y'all. Nobody wants to deal with that. And I feel like this also kind of lets us know why Chris may have been a little bit more vocal instead of Candiace being super vocal this reunion. I feel like they're just both though completely over it and focused on bigger and better things. And I wish her a safe and happy pregnancy. I really do. And the last thing I have to say about that as well is this little nope, don't need Robyn no more. Don't need this Aneka one anymore. Okay, we can also play this too, where she spoke on things on this little interview. Let me share my screen. Y'all, if you have not liked the video, please go ahead, like the video. Thank you. Share. Right here.
News to share. You guys are expecting your first child together. The emotions are right there. Do we need a triangle? Do we have a triangle?
You know what? I have one, because I was wiping my nose, so it's gonna have to transition in 2 seconds to be for a tear. Yes. Oh my God. Okay. Yes.
This is so exciting. Fill me in a little bit. Where are we at in the process? How far along are you?
So I think today I am about 13 weeks and 3 days. So just about into the second trimester. It's been weird, but also really like wonderful. It's just been like kind of quietly just growing a bun.
Chris, how are you feeling?
For a while there, I thought I was almost done, and then we decided to start over. She had the cutoff date. I had about 4 years left on the time clock.
Well, you gave me the cutoff.
Yeah, I did.
Yes, so I knew I had to like bleep or get off the pot, as they say.
And here we are bleeping. Can you share? We got big news to share. You guys are expecting your first child together.
So yeah, y'all. Happy for them, especially just like seeing, you know, everything and kind of just like just what she had to deal with on the show for the last couple of years and stuff. They seem genuinely happy, and I hope this is just simply a happy time for them. As Chris said, I guess he wanted to, I guess he didn't want to have any more kids after 50 or whatever. So I guess I understand that. And they look happy. I'm happy for them. Period. Yes. Congrats, Candiace. Congrats, Candiace. Congrats, Candiace. But I think that's about it, y'all. It's been an interesting 21 episodes, a very interesting 21 episodes. Again, I'm still sticking by what I said, and as it stands right now, I am not eager to come back and for season 9 unless I see some serious changes. But as it stands right now, I'm good on them because so now I'm wondering if Candiace knew that she was pregnant when she was talking about she want her. I'm not when did that that interview was, she says she's February. I mean, according to the math, I want to say yes, but I'm not sure when that interview aired, but that's a good question. That's a very good question. I'm trying not to even put too much into that because, again, I was just hoping that was bad wording on her part, but who knows what their baby's gonna look like. I just hope it he or she, because I don't know the gender yet, is going to come into this world super happy, super healthy, and all that. So we shall see. And to all the naysayers and all that had so much to say about her not having, anything in store for her next journey or next chapter and stuff like that. It's like, even just take financial things off of the table for one. Just her being as though this was something that was being talked about so much and a point of emphasis for them for so long. I'm happy that they're finally able to be parents together. Obviously, he already has 3 children, and she's a bonus mom to them and all that. But now they're having their own little bundle of joy. So I'm happy. I really am. And this really kind of concludes the Real Housewives of Potomac season 8, y'all. I appreciate you guys for thugging it out with me and these reviews and everything, because Lord knows it was getting harder and harder each one because I don't like to feel gaslit as a viewer. I don't like when people blatantly lie for no reason just because they don't like a person for no reason. And I say that because there's been individuals on the show that have forgiven people that have done way worse, in my opinion, but whatever. I'm hands off. I'm hands off. It is what it is. I appreciate you guys, though, nonetheless, for rocking with me every week. And yeah, y'all, I guess I will just have to see you in the next one. Yes. As my good sis, hey sis, said, I'm definitely happy for them. But again, I appreciate you all for being here. Don't forget to like the video if you haven't done so already by now. Please like the video. If you have not subscribed, go ahead, hit that subscription button on the channel. And let's continue the conversation in the comments below, y'all. And until next time, I will see y'all later. Bye.